Hey everybody, Chris the old ass retro gamer here. Welcome to February's Recent Pickups stream. Glad to see that there are people here already. This is awesome. Thank you very much. And, well, this has been a strange month. There's been problems with the local post office, and the issues are I order things, I'm told they will arrive by a certain day. They show up 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks later. They get to Chicago and they just sit in a weird holding pattern for days and weeks at a time. So I never know when things that I purchase online are actually going to show up. And it's getting very aggravating. I know that we had bad storms in Chicago. I understand that. I know that the post office is understaffed. But I mean, like, come on. It's like the post office workers in my area just kind of like at 5 o'clock, they're just like, oh, well, time to go home. I don't care if I haven't delivered any of these things yet. So, yeah, I'm just going to throw it in the back of my car and they'll get it when they get it. So it's getting kind of annoying. I should have had more to talk about tonight, but I don't because stuff that I ordered some like 2-3 weeks ago is just floating around in post office limbo somewhere. So yeah, don't get me wrong. I have stuff to talk about tonight. I have stuff to show off that I've gotten. It's just, like I said, there should have been a hell of a lot more. So shall we get started? So yes, this is everything I've picked up this month, February 2021. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first things I'm going to talk about are gaming related, but they aren't games or movies. I hit up my, the retro store that I normally go to. It's Video Games Then and Now in Harwood Heights. And I went there, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and I picked up some really cool stuff. You will see it here. But I was sitting there going, I've been saying to myself recently, I really should look into getting some more like decorations for the walls that are video game related, because most of my decorations are of the film variety. So while I was at Video Games Then and Now, I happened to walk past this display they have of these like 3D dioramas. You know, I showed one off a long time ago that I had made for me specifically from ActRaiser. But they had one of, I think, 5 or 6 that they had on the shelf. And one of them stood out for me, or to me, and that was this Streets of Rage like 3D diorama. Everything is like standing out from the background. Everything's on like these little plastic poles that are holding the characters away from the background so they kind of stand out. I thought this was kind of cool. I have one of ActRaiser already. It's over here on the wall. I'm probably going to move everything to when I get a couple more of these. There was a couple more that I would get. They were kind of expensive. These are around like $30, but it even has like a little Streets of Rage plaque that I could stick on the base if I really wanted to. But yeah, that was kind of neat. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be putting that up on the wall. I'm probably going to use it in place of these little license plate looking deals over here. I'm going to get rid of those. Probably buy a bunch of these and put those against that wall because they will look rad. So also something that I got, Brett Weiss, who is a fellow YouTuber and video game author, or video game related author, a while back asked me to provide some stories about NES games for a book that he was creating. And I gave him a lot. One of them was really, really long, and it's going to be in volume 2, but he sent me volume 1 to review on the channel. I don't know if I'm going to review this. I got this late. I mean, a lot of people have already gotten it. I think they forgot to send me my copy. So I might just wait until the second volume comes out and then do like a combo review of both instead of just volume after volume. So I might just do volume 1 and 2, but he sent me his NES Omnibus volume 1 goes through the letters A through L. And I think I have like 5 little stories about video games that I love or don't like from back in the day in here. I have one about Low G-Man. I have one about... Oh, geez. I can't even remember which ones are in here. Oh, crap. I don't want to go through the whole book, but... Yeah, I know I have one for Low G-Man. I have one for Abadox. And like I said, maybe 3 or 4 other Deadly Towers. So yeah. But like I said, I'm going to wait until Volume 2 comes out to do like a combo review of both. And I think I just blocked the camera or the microphone with the book. That was fantastic thinking on my part. Good job, Chris. You are the man. So let's get into the pickups. All right, so like all my recent pickup videos, I'm going to start off with the films and then move into the video games. So when it comes to the films, I'm going to go through if I had any DVDs, I would talk about those first. I don't. Then I would talk about the TV box sets on Blu-ray, which I do have one. And then my box set movies. These aren't really box sets, but they're compilations of movies. And then the regular DVD or the regular Blu-rays. I keep on saying DVDs? They're Blu-rays. Compilation Blu-rays, standard Blu-rays, and then the 4K UHDs. So let's get started. So I did not realize that this was available on Blu-ray. I totally skipped on it. I don't know how. Especially since last month, I bought all those movies from Scream/Shout Factory, and this comes from them. My eyes must have just completely gone over it. I don't know why. But they released a Blu-ray collector's edition of the complete Freaks and Geeks television show. And I loved this show. I watched a couple of episodes when it was first being broadcast. What's up, 8-Bit Glitch? How's it going? Your little NES thing is right there. It fell over, damn it! Crap! I watched a couple of episodes when it was being broadcast. I thought it was really funny. Some episodes were kind of sad. But I ended up buying the DVD set when that came out because I liked what I saw so much and I fell in love with the show. It's a shame that it got canceled as early as it did because this show actually launched a lot of people's careers. There's a bunch of people from the Marvel Universe in here. I don't know. I can't remember this dude's name. Martin Starr. He's in the Spider-Man movies. He plays the teacher, one of Peter's teachers. And you've got Linda Cardellini, who plays Hawkeye's wife. I don't remember this kid's name, but he directs movies now. He directed Game Night. You've got Siegel. I can't remember his first name. Siegel. Jason Siegel, who's in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Seth Rogen. Busy Phillips. Is that her name? Busy Phillips? Yeah, Busy Phillips, who has like a talk show on E! And definitely can't forget James Franco. So it's a great show. And the weird thing is, I didn't realize, I was like, why is this? I mean, there's not that many episodes. It got canceled like mid-season. Why does it have 2 sets of discs in here? What's up with that? One of them is the complete series with the original broadcast aspect ratio, which is 4:3. And then the other set is the complete series with the widescreen presentation. I'm pretty sure that when this was filmed, it was filmed on film, and everything is filmed widescreen, at least 16:9, a 1.85 to 1 widescreen ratio. And they just ended up cutting it to be broadcast on television. So I want to check that out very much to see how that looks. Now we're getting into the compilations. I would say these were box sets, but they're the normal size of a DVD or a Blu-ray case. So for Valentine's Day this year, I guess every year they do it, but I never really pay attention to it. There's this film production company called Full Moon Features I was really heavily into their stuff back in the early to mid 90s. What's up, TJ? How's it going? Yeah, I did not realize that this was going to do that. So I'm really thrilled to have both versions of the show. And it has a third disc too. What is that? Oh, lots of extra stuff. That's just like the extras discs. Cool. And that was they discounted that on the website. So that's why I picked that up. It was like $40. So I was like, yeah, for that, yeah, I'll spring for it. So like I said, Full Moon Features, they used to be known as Empire Pictures back in the 80s, and they released a lot of really cheap but decent films like the original Trancers, Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jared Sin, Reanimator, From Beyond, Dungeon Master, The Eliminators, God, I can't even remember half of them, Terror Vision. And then they went out of business, and the owner, Charles Band, reformed as Full Moon Features Full Moon Features, and they basically stopped going theatrical and they focused specifically on direct-to-video movies. Hello, TJ. And I got really heavily into them. Trancers was one of my favorite movies. I used to watch it on cable all the time. So one of the first movies that they released was the sequel to Trancers. And from that point on, I was hooked because not only did you get a movie, but after the film, there was like this half-hour-long video magazine called Video Zone, where Charles Band hosted it, and he would talk about the movie you just watched, so show some behind-the-scenes footage, and then show small little features on some of the upcoming movies that they were going to be releasing, and a bunch of trailers and stuff like that. And it was just really, really cool. It made you feel like you were a part of the process. I don't know. It was weird. I was a kid. So I really got heavily into them until they started releasing like gross, sexually nasty type movies that I stopped watching after a little while. I think Hideous was the last one I rented. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. And the Puppet Master movies too. Don't forget, they are known for the Puppet Master films. So every Valentine's Day, I guess they have some sort of a sale on their website, and they discount everything like heavily. And I just happened to see an ad for it on my Facebook feed, and I went to check it out just to see what there was. And there wasn't like a huge amount of things, but like the stuff that was discounted, we're talking like Blu-rays for $7.50. And I was like, yes, I will buy some of these. Ended up having to cancel a bunch of them, and they still haven't shipped. I ordered these on before Valentine's Day. I was like the day before Valentine's Day, so this was like on the 13th or whatever. And they still haven't even shipped yet because I guess they said that this was the biggest year that they had for this sale, so they're like struggling to get the shipments out. So I ordered a bunch of movies. I ended up canceling them because it really made me curious because they said that they were selling out of all of their products. So I went to eBay to see if there was anything that wasn't on their website that people were reselling. Turns out there were like these compilations of the movies, and I had bought a bunch of the movies from the website separately. And I was like, well, instead of having 3 separate movies on the shelf, it'd be great to have all of them in one set, and it's the same width of a regular Blu-ray case. So that's where I went. So I ended up calling them or sending them a message and saying, hey, can you cancel these movies from my order since they haven't shipped yet, and I'll keep the rest. There's some cool stuff coming, trust me. But I had ordered Trancers 2 and 3 through them. I already owned Trancers 1. So I ended up getting the Trancers Squid Pack, which has Trancers 1, 2, and 3 on it. Each has their own disc, but yeah, it's all contained in one, which is the way I like it. Trancers was kind of like a Terminator ripoff without a robot. A cop from the future gets sent back in time, but their version of time travel is you travel back through your lineage, and your mind ends up inhabiting one of your ancestors in the time period that you want to go to. And this cop named Jack Death has to go back in time, takes over the body of his ancestor in Los Angeles in 1984 or whatever it is, to hunt down this guy named Whistler who is able to like mentally take over somebody's body and turn you into like a mindless killing machine zombie called a Trancer. And he's going back to hunt that guy because this guy Whistler has done the exact same thing. He's gone back in time through his family line, and he wants to take over the world with Trancers in the past so that he can run the future, and he wants to kill all the people who are on the ruling council. He wants to kill their ancestors so they won't exist in the future, just like in Terminator, which is where the comparisons come from. It's a really fun movie. It's really short. Helen Hunt, it was one of her first movies. Thelma Hopkins from 227 is in it. Tim Thomerson plays Jack Death, and he's just fantastic. He plays like this wannabe noir character. It's really cool. It's a really clever movie. I love it. And then we have the 2 sequels, and like the second one, which is called The Return of Jack Death, was one of the first movies that Full Moon released. And I was super excited to see it, and wow, is that movie bad and boring and like just badly made. I remember back in the day I was disappointed in it, but I didn't really hate it. I watched it when this first showed up because I haven't seen that movie in probably 20 years. And I was just like, I was struggling to get through it awake. It is just like poorly shot, poorly lit, badly written. The stuff that comes out of actors' mouths in this movie. You're like Jack Death is married to Helen Hunt's character Lena in the movie in this one, and Jack Death's dead ex-wife from the future wasn't dead. She ended up coming back into the past also, and he like goes to kiss her, and Lena walks in on him, and Lena says something like, Jack Death says, Lena, don't jump to any conclusions. And she goes, you're the one doing the jumping, Jack. And it's the way she says it. She looks like she's embarrassed as all hell to say that line, and I felt bad for her. And it's delivered horribly, but it's just, like I said, it's badly written, badly acted. It's just boring as all hell. Nothing really goes on in it. The only thing that came out of it that was good was Megan Ward, who plays Jack Death's wife from the future. She's the only bright star in this movie. She's the only thing keeping it afloat, other than Tim Thomerson's charisma. And then we have part 3, which is Death Lives, which kind of goes the dark route instead of trying to be funny and like another Terminator copy. Jack Death ends up getting pulled forward in time to take out a guy who starts the Trancers movement. It's a military operation, and I think it's like 5 years from when the movie takes place. And he gets this like robot sidekick named Shark, and Anthony Robinson, who played Garrick on Deep Space Nine, plays the villain, this guy named Colonel Daddy Mother, which makes no sense. And it's kind of funny because there's 2 Deep Space Nine alumni in this. There's Andy Robinson, who played Garrick, and then there's Melanie Smith, I think her name is, and she played Goldie Cox's daughter that ended up being adopted by Kira on the show. I can't remember what her name is. I just watched the series too. Shit, I can't remember. Well, whatever. It's kind of cool that those 2 are in the same movie and then went on to be in Star Trek Deep Space Nine together. It's a better movie. It's moodier. It's more violent. It's not really funny at all. Like I said, there's a little bit of humor, but it's just a better overall movie. It's still not as good as the first, but really thrilled to get that into my collection. And then the other one I got was Dollman, the action pack, and I had ordered Dollman and Dollman versus Demonic Toys separately and told them to cancel it when I found this on eBay. Dollman versus Demonic Toys and Demonic Toys are all on this. And Dollman is another Tim Thomerson movie where he's an alien cop. I see a pattern forming here, who follows his nemesis, who is like this floating head on a kind of like a jet engine named Sprug, I think his name is. It's been forever since I've actually seen it. Who travels to Earth, Brick Bardo, I think is Tim Thomerson's name. He follows him to Earth, but on Earth, the people from their planet are about 12 inches tall. So it's kind of funny to see everyone talking to this tiny little toy character. It's funny. Jackie Earle Haley's in it too. He has an Oscar, but he's in this. I haven't seen it in a while, so I really can't comment on it. Demonic Toys was like another Puppet Master ripoff, but it's about a whole bunch of demonically possessed toys that kill a bunch of people that break into their warehouse. And then they did a tie-in movie between the 2 of them, Dollman versus Demonic Toys, since they're all about the same height. And they added in a character from another Full Moon movie called Bad Channels. This, I think, Alien. It's been forever since I've seen that too. Aliens were shrinking down hot women to take back to their planet or something. And one of them ends up in this movie to be a love interest for Brick Bardo. Yet another character from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. She was on Babylon 5 also. I can't remember the actress's name, though. She played a Cardassian scientist that managed to keep the wormhole open a crack so they can get signals back and forth through it. Anyway, geeking out. So thrilled to have that little collection on my shelf as well. Now onto the standard Blu-ray. Only one. Got a copy of Ready or Not. I went to my local Best Buy. Dark version of Toy Story. Like I said, I haven't seen any of the movies in this collection for probably 20-some years. Probably more. Probably since the 90s. So, yeah, it's hard to remember exactly what was going on in it. I just remember, Demonic Toys watching it. I was like, wow, this is just another Puppet Master series. Like, how many sequels we're going to get for that? And I think there's a couple that showed up, in the 2000s, but I never saw any of them. But I remember it being entertaining. But Ready or Not, I hit my local Best Buy. I haven't actually been inside of Best Buy for probably a year and a half. And I wanted to see if there was anything on sale or anything. And it was empty. They looked like they hadn't restocked anything. I think they're just going off of internet sales now. But I hit up their movie section and I found this on sale for $15. And I have just watched this on, I think it was the not Showtime, the Cinemax app. I had a free trial for a week because I wanted to watch The Hunt. I talked about that last month. And while I had it, I was like, well, I never did see Ready or Not. I wanted to check this out, and I did, and I loved it. It has Samara Weaving, who is Hugo Weaving's niece, and she marries into this really wealthy family. And when somebody in this family gets married, they make the person that's marrying into the family play this game of roulette, where you pick a card out of this box, and whatever the card says is the game you play. And if you win, you become part of the family, and if you lose, you die because the family thinks that they're cursed. And if you don't die, they will die by was it the morning, by dawn. And what the card that she pulls is basically hide or seek, and it's a deadly game of hide or seek. Like they have to hunt her down and kill her. What's up, Gib84 or GIB84? Welcome. It's really funny. It's really clever. It's really violent. I really dug it. And it has kind of like a funny twist ending. It's kind of like, what? But I really enjoyed it when I watched it, so I was glad to add that to the collection. Now we're going to get into the 4Ks, and I got some interesting stuff. Pick this up at the local half-price books, and it's the remake of Hellboy. I know a lot of people do not like this, but wanting to watch right or not, it's really worth it. It is really funny. I loved it. It was like watching The Hunt. It was like The Hunt 1.5. I was like watching themed movies for a while, horror movies of people being hunted down, whatever. But yeah, the remake of Hellboy, I don't think a lot of people I know make fun of it and they think it's terrible. I don't have like a real connection to the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movie, so this didn't really bother me that much. I thought it was really cool that Mila Jovovich is playing the villain in it. I was glad to see her playing somebody who's not in a Resident Evil movie. But David Harbour from Stranger Things plays Hellboy in this. I think he does a pretty good job. This movie had like a real troubled production. Like the director, Neil Marshall, who directed Doomsday, Dog Soldiers, directed a bunch of episodes of Game of Thrones. He was just being blocked from every turn by the suits from the studio. They're penny pinching and wanted to change things on the fly. And I guess David Harbour also had issues with the director also. So it kind of does have some issues, I think. I think it's over with too quickly. Honestly, it rushes to the conclusion a little bit. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Like I said, I don't really have a connection to the comic books. I've read them. I've seen the other movies. They're good. I like them. But, I mean, like, I don't care. And I think the complaints that I hear a lot is like, well, it's not the Guillermo del Toro films. Well, no, it's not, because those movies are over. This is a reboot. So, for a reboot, I thought it was entertaining. We're not going to get a sequel because that movie bombed. So, while I was at that Best Buy, I found 2 Scream Factory movies there that I had in my cart when I made that big purchase last month. Took them out because I'm like, those are new. Those are brand new. I can get them later. I want to get the ones that are going to be going out of print now while I can. But to find these at a Best Buy of all places, I was like, what? Oh, yes. So I picked up They Live in 4K. So Scream Factory is starting to get on the 4K train. They started off with a couple of John Carpenter films, and They Live is one of my favorites. It came out like in 88, I want to say, and a little more relevant now than it was back then. It was kind of commenting on Reaganomics, how the wealthy just keep getting wealthier and the poor just keep getting poorer. But, before the beginning of this year, that was kind of going on as well. But yeah, Roddy Piper's in it, and he ends up finding out that there's like an alien invasion going on, but not like a typical one where, they're using laser guns and bombs and explosions to take us out. No, they're taking us over through business and economics. And it's pretty fantastic and very relevant nowadays. I can't wait to see how well or how good this looks in 4K. And the other one is Prince of Darkness, another one of my favorite John Carpenter films. This one is another not typical, this one's about like the devil coming to take over the world, but not the typical way you would see in a movie. The devil's been trapped in another dimension, like a mirror dimension, and his son, Satan? Satan is the son. The devil is the main guy. Satan was killed back in the day and broken down into like a liquid and stored in this container and was buried at the bottom of this church and it was being watched by priests nonstop. And the priest that was in charge dies, and it starts to wake up and starts to influence people, and it's trying to release its father from this other dimension to take over the world. And it is very cool because they give you both sides of the story. You're given the religious reason for things happening. You're also given the scientific reasons for things happening, which I thought was fascinating. And I absolutely loved the movie for that because it makes it more interesting than your typical end of the world type movie. But this is the second movie in John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy. You have The Thing, the remake of The Thing, this, and In the Mouth of Madness, another one of my favorite John Carpenter films. And we just watched this. I did like a watch party with this on Discord last month. or maybe December, end of December, and a lot of people showed up. It was really fun. Just bought the Blu-ray of They Live, and they released the 4K like a month later. Oh yeah. And Radical Reggie, who was in the stream that I did, the watch party on Discord for Prince of Darkness, didn't realize that there was like a special edition, and went out and bought it. And then like 2 days later, the 4K came out, and I was like, sorry. They Live is great. It has one of the greatest fight scenes, like fist fight scenes in history, between Roddy Piper and Keith David. And yes, there are wrestling moves on concrete. The next one is another compilation of the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy by Edgar Wright. It is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End all in one set in 4K. Shaun of the Dead, obviously, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost zombie movie. It's classic. I love it. Hot Fuzz is parodying cop buddy movies with the two of them in it as well. And then they got The World's End, which I don't know what it's parodying because I don't like that one at all. Saw it on my birthday with a bunch of friends, and I was just kind of like, okay, that alien thing came out of nowhere. All right. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Like I said, I'm not a fan of World's End, but I will watch it again just to maybe it's growing on me because I haven't watched it since I saw it in the theater. But Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz are 2 of my all-time favorites. Absolutely love it. And then this one, whoo! I bought this at the beginning of February. It showed up today. Like, does the post office deliver on Sundays now? I guess so. But this is one of those packages that I was talking about at the beginning of the stream that's just been in this weird holding pattern for weeks. I think it showed up in Chicago on the 14th, and it never went anywhere. It'd been sitting there, and then today it just randomly shows up. But I bought this 4K set, or not a set, but a box of Tremors, the original Tremors movie. It is a huge, huge set. I don't know what they could possibly put in this. Disc 1 is the feature and extras in 4K and in HD blue or NHD. And the second disc is interviews and short films of what? Extended hour-long interviews from the director, writers, some actors, outtakes with introduction, 3 early short films from the makers of Tremors, stop motion tests. So Arrow Video released this. This is one of the few Arrow Video releases that they localized for the US. Most of their stuff just comes out in the UK. And as you can see here, disc 1, feature, and extras. All of this are the extras that are on it. That is nuts. It's not the whole thing. It's just the first movie, but it's like this weird, huge-ass box set of it. A collector's set. How about that? A collector's edition. I absolutely love Tremors. One of my mother's friends from bowling had a son that was between my age and my brother's age. And she took me, her son, or she took my brother and me and her son to go and see Tremors out of nowhere. Like one day she just showed up at my house and says, yeah, your mom wanted me to take you guys to a movie, so we're all going to go see Tremors. And I was like, what's that then? I don't know. What is it? I don't know, because I never heard of it. And it ended up being one of my favorites. Like we were laughing, we were getting freaked out. It was great. One of my favorite monster movies. Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward are like a perfect, like Laurel and Hardy style team. It's great. And the monster designs are fantastic, and it's just a real fun monster movie. And I was thrilled that they released a 4K of this. And here's the thing that pissed me off about this, regardless of the holding pattern with the mail. I went on Amazon and purchased the Blu-ray of this. They released a Blu-ray version and a 4K version. They released a Blu-ray of this. I bought that. And it shows up, or no, I bought it. And then like 3 days later, I don't know if it's because I'm being watched through Facebook or whatever. Facebook shows me this ad saying like, don't forget to get Arrow's 4K version of Tremors. And I was like, there's a 4K what? 4K version what? How, when? So I was like, shit. So I immediately canceled my order. It showed up. I had to send it back. And then once I got my money back from that, I ended up reusing it to purchase the 4K version, which is sold out everywhere. And the only way you can get it is, like, you can get it normal price, the Blu-ray for normal price on Amazon, but the 4K is gone. Like, everywhere it's gone. So I ended up paying, I think, $20 more than it went for retail just so I can own this in my collection. But, you know, as a Tremors fan, I felt I had to do that. And those are the movies. So let's get into the games. We're going to go from the oldest to the newest. And starting off with a real old school game, but a new old school game. So, you guys, a lot of people, I think somebody last time mentioned that I have a Vectrex sitting next to me. If I can actually get it to move. Because oh no! Things fell. Oh no. All my PSPs, they fell down, go boom. Anyway, I have a Vectrex sitting here. I haven't bought a game for it in a long time because they are pretty goddamn expensive. So, went to video games then and now. Might as well put this back up here. You can stay. And they have like a case when you first walk in on your right. Yeah, scared me. Are you crazy? Yep, womp womp. Can't edit it out of the video. It's live, suckers. Like there's this case right when you walk in on your right that has like more expensive handheld games and some of the pricier stuff in the store, but not so pricey because it's right next to a window and somebody can just break that window and go right into this case if they wanted to. But they have like a lot of the older stuff in it. And I guess that this guy that owns the store bought a whole bunch of Vectrex homebrews and had them sitting in the case. So I was taking a look at them and this one looked pretty awesome. It's called Dark Tower. And it looks like an adventure game like Legend of Zelda. If you look at the back, the gameplay is like, third-person action adventure game. And I saw that, and I was just like, that looks interesting. I think I need that in my collection, even though it's not an official Vectrex game. But it has everything. It comes with, obviously a box, because I'm holding it in my hand. But, you got the cart, and you've even got the overlay that goes over the screen, which I was like, okay, these people are doing it right. If I can get the goddamn thing out. Let me see you. I have not looked at you. I haven't played it yet. Maybe at the end of the stream, I'll boot up the Vectrex and we'll play it together. There we go. Yeah, there's the overlay that goes over the screen. Gives me all the pertinent information and tints the screen so it's not black and white. But yeah, I was thrilled to get a new Vectrex game. Or a new game for an old console. And I think I always see these homebrews like this at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I never buy any of them. And I'm thinking I might start if the convention ever comes back. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, if you guys want, maybe at the end I'll boot it up and we can all take a look at it you can take a look at the game together. Since it's right here, I just got to plug it in. Also, last month I was talking about all these import Master System games that I had bought. A bunch that I bought at the beginning of January just showed up like this week. And it, like another one that's just been sitting in this weird holding pattern in New York for some reason. And then it just showed up. It didn't even say that it had come to to Illinois. It was still said in the tracking number that it was still in New York. And then like a day later, it just randomly shows up on my doorstep. Or they showed up on my doorstep. But those are the last two that I had ordered back in January are The Lucky Dime Caper, starring Donald Duck. I really kind of got into buying these old Disney games, and this one's like an old school 8-bit platformer with Donald Duck in it. Looks pretty fun. I was watching somebody stream this on Twitch. I can't remember who. I don't think it was Hungry Garaya, or maybe it was Sir HC Man or Cirque Man that had streamed this at some point. But I remember watching somebody stream it, and I liked what I saw, which is why I bought it. But the one that surprised me, I did not realize this ever got a home port, but this didn't come out in the US. This came out in, I guess, the UK and Brazil, and I think this is a Brazilian copy of that I got here because it's in English on the back and in Spanish. So I got this one called Space Gun. It's a on-rails light gun game that came out in arcades back in the day, which I played all the time in the arcade. I absolutely loved it. And I think the Alien 3 arcade game was kind of ripped off from this. So when I saw that this was available, that this was a game that came out like in Brazil or whatever, I was just like, oh, that. I remember that. I kind of want it. I hope it doesn't require a light gun because I don't have a CRT or a light phaser to play it with. But it says you can either use the control pad or the control stick or the light phaser to play it. So I can play it with a controller. Yay me! Yeah, they got a ton of stuff, and it's complete and everything, both of them. And I was just like, you have no idea. I squeed when I saw this because I had not played this game since probably the late 80s. Yay! But I got an import, a real import Japanese Master System game. In Japan, it's called the Mark III, the Master System. And I decided, because I had, what was it that I got? Oh, my bonus from my job, my yearly bonus, a year-end bonus, finally came in at the beginning of this month. And I had a lot of repairs to do in my car that I've been putting off, so a lot of it got spent for that. But one of the things I said I wanted to do with it was I had set a goal for myself a long time ago. I've probably brought it up a couple of times on the channel that I want to get all the Fist of the North Star games that have been released for the consoles, at least cartridge and disc-wise, not talking like PC and all that kind of shit. But like all the Fist of the North Star games that have come out, like the Hokuto no Ken games. And I decided that I was going to use this bonus to do that. And still got a couple of them coming. They're like in that holding pattern. But one of them that I ordered was the original Hokuto no Ken for the Mark III. This is known as Black Belt in the US for the Sega Master System. It was deemed too violent, maybe too violent of a property, because I've played this and there isn't any blood or anything like that. But I did not beat the first boss, so I could not tell you if his head blew up or his intestines shot out of his ass. But it was like hacked, and they changed the color of the main character so he doesn't look like Kenshiro. He's wearing like a standard white karate gi, and the background is no longer this post-apocalyptic wasteland, and the bosses don't look like characters from the show or the comic or the manga. But yeah, there's what the original Master System, the Mark III, looks like in Japan right there. And the cartridges actually kind of look like the Sega cartridges that they released for the Atari 2600. That's what a Master System game looks like in Japan. It looks like an Atari cartridge. It's strange. They're, like I said, they're Sega cartridges that they released for the Atari 2600 look almost exactly the same, which is strange as hell. But whatevs. Thrilled that I got this, even though I already own Black Belt, but to have the original OG version of the game, yes. Only MS game you own from Brazil is released of Sonic 2. I was looking at that one too. I was looking at a bunch. I'm going to start looking at more because I love that. I love the Master System. It's a fantastic alternative to the NES. And like I said, it didn't get a fair shake in the US, and they discontinued it too early because Nintendo was just dominating shit. But then Sega came back with that Genesis action. But I did manage to get 2 American or US released Master System games at Video Games Then and Now. They've been, I think the guy has all this stuff behind the counter and he slowly trickles it out. And every time I go there's brand new stuff out, but he's still got like stacks and stacks of games to the ceiling that he hasn't worked on yet to put out on the shelf. You'd think that he'd want to get them out on the shelf so he can make some money, but no. But these weren't there the last time I went last month. So I picked up a copy of Zaxxon 3D. I do not think you need those 3D glasses to play this. It helps if you do, but Sega 3D glasses required. I didn't read that when I bought it. Uh-oh. Put that over there. I think I'm going to be selling me a Master System game. Stupid Nintendo. But I also got another one of those Sega card games, and that's Spy vs. Spy. The ones that look like a TurboGrafx game. Even came with a little slip for it, which is awesome. I have a Spy vs. Spy game for the OG Xbox, but I always enjoyed like the Spy vs. Spy games. It looks like Xenophobe if you've ever played that a lot. But yeah, I got this for like $6, so I wasn't gonna pass that up. But yeah, I made a mistake with that Zaxxon 3D. I can't play it. Shit. Time to hunt down some glasses? No, because I don't even have a Master System. I play all my Master System games on my Retro Freak. It doesn't allow you to use the glasses, so I guess that Zaxxon game's going bye-bye. I'll try to trade it away somewhere. So, to continue... Wow, God, I'm just dropping everything tonight. What the hell? To continue with that Fist of the North Star Hokuto no Ken goal, I ordered like every single cartridge-based game I didn't have. I already have a couple for the Super Nintendo or the Super Famicom. I have, was it part 5 and 6? I already had those. And I already have the Fist of the North Star game that was released here in the US for the NES. There were 4 Hokuto no Ken games released for the Famicom in Japan. 4 of them. The one that we got over here was the worst of them all. I think that's part 2. So I ordered all 4 of them, even though I already owned the other one, but whatevs. But the ones that have shown up are part 3 and part 4. Hakuchi no Ken 3 and 4. They are both RPGs. Hells to the yes. Fist of the North Star 5 for the Super Famicom is an RPG also, and then the series from that point on decided to become, or the developers decided to make them one-on-one fighters. Started off as beat-em-ups, turned into RPGs, and then into one-on-one fighting games. Haven't played these yet. I need to get translation patches for them so I can play through them, but I want to wait until I get all of them so I can play through them in a row. But yeah, thrilled to get these. Absolutely. Do you use any particular import online stores? No, I get them on eBay. There's a guy that I usually buy stuff from in Japan who I've been buying Famicom Disk System games for him since I bought the damn system, since I bought that Sharp Twin Famicom that's right there. And like his prices are really reasonable, and you only have to pay $5 for shipping no matter what. Even with what's going on right now, it's still $5. So and you get the stuff quick. I think I get his stuff within a week and a half of him shipping it, which is great. So if I see that he's selling these things, I buy them from him. Most of the import things I've gotten for the Famicom, the Twin Famicom, and the Super Nintendo, or the Super Famicom, I've gotten through that guy. Yes! I have all the Android assaults! There's 13 of those for the Saturn. How's it going, Neo Genesis? And then I got one straight-up NES game, and I found this at Video Games Then and Now. And you're probably going to giggle when you see what it is, but everyone tells me this is actually a pretty decent game. It's just based on a Disney movie that I can't stand. But you know what? I don't care if it's a license I don't like. If the game's fun, I want to play it. And I got The Little Mermaid. Don't think I'll ever get the one for the Genesis / Game Gear, but this one everyone tells me is completely different, and I've seen it being played. I've seen a couple people stream it, and it does look pretty fun. So picked it up for, I think, $35. No, $39. I picked it up for $40. It was $40, completely complete. So there you go. Let's move some of these things out of the way so I can access the others. So we go from the NES to the Sega Genesis. Picked this up at Video Games Then and Now while I was there, and it is Techno Cop. This is by Razorsoft. They are not known as being a very good developer. I think they did the Tongue of the Fat Man port, which I think it's called Slaughter Sport when it got brought over here. But it is a shooter and a driving game. The side-scrolling shooter parts are extremely violent. You can see somebody getting shot and exploding there. And then you can also see the driving portion down there. I haven't played it yet, but the only problem was I was wondering why I got this so cheap, and it was because there was no manual in it, so that's kind of a bummer. But this is one of those games for the Genesis that I always wanted, and like they never had it at the Funko Land that I used to go to all the time back in the day. So I never actually got a chance to buy my own copy until now. So we'll see if it's as bad as I remember everyone saying it was. Got this off of a Facebook group, and this is one of the renovation shooters I've always wanted, and it's Whip Rush. There's a reason why I got this as cheap as I did. You couldn't tell in the picture. The guy did not bring it up. I brought it up with him when I got it. But I was like, oh, yeah, the back is like all sun faded. Like there's no color in any of the pictures back here. Thanks, brah. But it's complete and the game works fine, so I'm not complaining. At least the front is not sun bleached. But yeah, it's a horizontally scrolling shmup. And the ones that were released by Renovation usually end up being pretty fun. So I absolutely wanted that. And usually it's pretty expensive. I got it for like half what it was going for normally. And then my buddy over at Toysaurus Games, he's been posting all these new repros that he's been making for the Genesis. I just bought another one from him that you're going to see next month, and it's kind of cool. Gotta admit, yeah. Especially if you're me and you like a certain something. Yeah, you'll see it. But he was selling this last month, and it's Sio Blade. It's Moving Adventure Sio Blade. It is a RPG / visual novel, I guess. Yeah. And it was translated in English, which is why I wanted it, because when it's text heavy, I try not to buy the Japanese version because there's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to find a translation patch out there to use on my Retro Freak. But yeah, this has been translated completely, which is why I was like, oh, please, yes, give me that, because that always looked kind of interesting to me. Because I remember looking this up back in the day and thought it looked kind of neat. But I guess it's based off of an anime or something. Whatevs. But yeah, thrilled that I got that. And it was only like $45. So it even comes on like a white cartridge and a full color manual, which is amazing. I love Toy Story games. Look him up on Instagram. Buy all of his things. It's worth it. So I got the final Hokuto no Ken game I needed for the Super Famicom because, like I said, I have 5 and 6, which are 5 is an RPG, 6 is a one-on-one fighting game. So I bought Hokuto no Ken 7, which is another one-on-one fighting game. This one is better than Part 6. I had Part 6 back in the day. It's very slow. Like, everything happens in it slowly, and it's not really that fun. Part 7 kind of fixes that. Everything's sped up a little bit, and the characters are not as big as they are in that version. And I think that's one of the reasons why. So it doesn't require as much memory to animate everything, and it's a better one-on-one fighting game. So thrilled to have that. So now we come to the Sega Saturn, and one of the things I picked up while I was at Video Games Then and Now was one of these wireless Bluetooth Saturn controllers. And I had been looking at this every time I went there, and I was like, do I really want that? I do play my Saturn quite a bit. I love the Saturn. Everyone seems to like either love it or hate it. I absolutely love it. But the problem that I have is that the cable is too short, and I don't like sitting on the floor in front of my giant TV playing like a little kid going, if I can have a wireless controller so I can sit on my couch and play, a good 10 feet away, that's fine. The only problem is this is just the controller with a Bluetooth, or it connects through Bluetooth. So you can use this on PCs, Androids, or phones. You could use it on a Nintendo Switch if you want to, because they have Bluetooth. If you want to play it with your Saturn, you have to buy this, which is an adapter that plugs into the Saturn and becomes a receiver for the controller. So ended up having to pay an extra $15 just to get that. So that was kind of a bummer. I'm glad that I noticed that I needed to do that when I bought this, because they had this at the store at the same time. So I was glad that I noticed it while I was there and didn't have to go back and buy this. So by using this, it's now functional with PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Retrobit Genesis and Saturn controllers. So this acts as a connector for all the other controllers that they make that are wireless. And I also bought a Polymega, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get it was because I would love to start streaming games again. I really want to stream my Saturn, but I wanted to get a Polymega because it plays Saturn games in HD natively, and that has a Bluetooth controller. You can hook up a controller through Bluetooth, so I can play this on it. Great for the Sega Ages games? Hell yeah, get a beanbag. Yeah. So I'm thrilled that I can use this not only on my Saturn before I get my Polymega, but I can also use it on my Polymega. So I did get a Saturn game. Last month I was talking about that repro of Dragon Force 2 that I had picked up from Pipe Dreams Games. It's a Facebook group. And he released another one, and I jumped on it. And it is Thunder Force 5. This only came out in Japan, but this is a translated. I don't know why it would need to be translated. It's a shmup. But repro of the game so you can play it on your US Saturn. And the cool thing is, he asked me, the guy that runs Pipe Dream Games sent me a message, and he's like, okay, do you want a standard printing for the manual and for the artwork in the back, or do you want the foil printing? And I was like, well, all the games that come out through Working Designs, which I think released this originally, have that foil on it. So give me that foil. So if you look, Sega Saturn is like this metallic print. I don't know how the guy does it on a printer. I really don't. Sega Saturn is also like that on the spine. You can see it kind of shimmering. And all of the wording on the back is in like gold. That is amazing. And I need to hook my Saturn back up so I can try this out. It requires you to use like one of those cartridges, those backup cartridges that you put in the cartridge slot that lets you play import games on a US version or a US Saturn. But yeah, I tried out Dragon Force 2 and it works just fine. So can't wait to try this one out. Yes, go to Pipe Dreams Games on Facebook. He has, I think, a lot of these. So check it out. It's fantastic. Even the disc and the manual are printed with like foil. You see that shit? That's amazing. Yeah, the moment I saw that go up, he was like, "Yep, I'm getting ready to release another lot of these." And I was like, "Give it to me, son of a bitch!" So yeah, I can't wait to see what else he can release. I know he does like Christmas nights, and I want to get a copy of that. So while I was at Video Games Then and Now, I also picked up some PlayStation 2 games. My Dreamcast is not working right now because I had it hooked up. I haven't been able to use it since I got my new TV, because when I was using my old TV, it had a VGA plug on the back, and I had my Dreamcast hooked up through VGA on the back. Only thing is, when I got rid of that TV, I forgot to switch the mode back to 4x3, so it goes out through the 3 plugs, the composite or whatever, component or whatever. And it won't play now. Like, it won't send any signal up because I think it's still in the menus set for VGA, which sucks. So I need to find some VGA something or other so I can switch it back and then I can use it again. So I can't play any of my Dreamcast games that I've been buying, which will get a Dreamcasting episode live stream as well once I have enough to talk about. So I picked up a copy of Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. This is a port of the Dreamcast Echo game to the PlayStation 2 with obviously better graphics. So got this for a whopping $10.99. And yeah, it looks fantastic. I loved the Echo game for the Dreamcast. It was great. So 3D Echo, done well. Can't play this like at all, but I really don't care. I bought this for nostalgia's sake, not because I want to play it. So I brought this up in the collection stream originally, where I was talking about the first game in this series, and that is EverQuest Online Adventures. I bought this is the edition or the add-on to it, Frontiers. Bunch of friends and I played EverQuest Online on the PlayStation 2 for almost a year. Like we created a guild and everything. I bought the hard drive for the PS2. I bought a keyboard, the USB keyboard that I can actually use on it, and using the controller and the keyboard at the same time sucked. But we made it work. But yeah, I wanted this just to add to my collection because of the memories of playing this with my friends. Like, it's not online anymore, at least not that I know of. Even if it was, I wouldn't want to play it because it would be archaic by today's standards. But yeah, I found this for a whopping $8 at the store. And the guy even looked at me when I was buying it like, you can't really play this, right? And I was like, yeah, I got it. I know. I'm buying it for reasons. Back off. Busty woman, you have my attention. Yeah, tasty hoots. Anyway, so there's really not much I can say about it. It's just a dumbed down, simplified version of EverQuest for the consoles. It was fun back in the day, but I ended up giving it up before all my friends did because I was just like, you know what? I've reached the point where I'm not finding this fun anymore, so just adios. I went to Half Price Books when I got that Hellboy. The only game I found while I was there that was something that I would be interested in was this Rock Band Track Pack Volume 2. This has extra tracks you can add into Rock Band, such as songs by Avenged Sevenfold, Why? Blondie, Weezer, Devo, Maximo Park, Who? Disturbed, Angels and Airwaves, Who? The Cars, The Police, Pixies, Duran Duran, Motley Crue, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nine Inch Nails, Fall Out Boy, Papa Roach, Garbage, Judas Priest, Smashing Pumpkins. Does not require Rock Band to play. Whatever. I don't care. It's cool to have another add-on for this. Not really useful without being able to play rock, but I want to have like a party once COVID is under control, where we play Rock Band all night like we used to back in the day, because it is super fun. I still have all of the instrument add-ons, including the keyboard and the really expensive Ion drum kit in my closet, just waiting to be used. They're just gathering dust. I need to have it. So, like when I talked about getting those movies, those Blu-rays and 4Ks at Best Buy, I hit up the game section while I was there. Totally forgot that Limited Run Games sells games at Best Buy. So there were some that I missed, either because they were too expensive through Limited Run and I didn't want to pay the amount, or ones that I was just kind of like, I don't really feel like buying these, or I just didn't have the money to do so at the time. I didn't feel like I should spend any money for those games, but I found them at Best Buy, which was kind of awesome. So I got the collector's edition of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, which came out, I do believe, for the Switch and the PS4. And I don't think they ever really released an Xbox One version of it through Limited Run, but when I saw this there, I was like, yeah, okay. And I remember the reason I didn't buy it was because even just the standalone game and not like the collector's edition, they were asking like $60 for it. I was like, no, I don't like Power Rangers that much. Oh man, I used to have parties like you would not believe. People that never even talked to me at work would show up at my house to play Rock Band. I'm surprised within the first month of moving into this apartment back in 2009, I had a Rock Band party. We had all the windows open, and we played until like 3 a.m, and I was blasting that shit. And I'm surprised I'm surprised the police did not show up. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I'm glad I waited, too, because this collector's edition has extra characters and stuff in it. And a Season 1 pass. Cool. But it's a one-on-one fighting game with Power Ranger characters. I thought originally this was based on that app, the cell phone game, I think. But I guess it's not. I think it was one of the other reason why I didn't want to spring for it on Limited Run, because I was like, if that's just a glorified phone app, no, I'm not paying $60 for it. But I guess it's not. So we'll see. But yeah, this has everything in it. And I was thrilled. The other Limited Run game I bought there that I did not realize was something I should have bought back in the day when it was originally offered was Ion Fury. This was developed by 3D Realms, or by using 3D Realms' Duke Nukem 3D engine to create a first-person shooter that is retro AF. It feels like Duke Nukem. I was playing this last night. It feels like Duke Nukem, but it's not Duke Nukem. It's kind of fantastic. And the cool thing is, I was playing Predator Hunting Grounds online last night with Church, and I started talking about this, and he says, yeah, do you know how big the file is for the game that's on that Blu-ray is? He's like, it's 55 megs. 55 freaking megs on a Blu-ray. What? That's the only thing taking up space on it is 55 megs. All the gigs available on a Blu-ray, and it's 55 freaking megs. That's crazy. But I was playing it last night. It is a fantastically fun, old-school first-person shooter, and I absolutely love it. It's great. It's gory as hell, too. Bowling ball bombs. They're the shit. But then, now we're going to get into the real Limited Run games that I had ordered 6 months ago, and they finally showed up. The Last Blade 2, which is a port of a Neo Geo one-on-one fighting game, and I do have this for the Dreamcast. But since I can't play my Dreamcast, 55 mega power! Yeah, I know, right? Oh, God. Don't forget, back in the day on the internet, that would have taken an hour to download. But yeah, Last Blade 2, it's a one-on-one fighting game, samurai style. It's kind of like Samurai Showdown-esque, but it's super fun. And I liked it when I was playing it on my Dreamcast, but since I can't play my Dreamcast right now, I figured this would be a good thing to get. Plus, I have all the other Neo Geo fighting games that they've released through Limited Run already, so why not break tradition? So, yay. And the one that I was super thrilled, took them long enough to release this damn thing physically, but the one that I could not wait for someone to release physically was the Mummy Demastered. Like, I wanted this so bad when it was first announced, because not only is it a Metroidvania, which I love, but it's also developed by WayForward, which is one of my favorite developers. Probably my favorite modern-day developer. How about that? And it doesn't really follow the plot of the movie because you're not playing as stupid-ass Tom Cruise. You're playing as like a soldier who is trying to kill Aminet from the movie. And that movie is terrible. I hate that freaking movie. But the game, I hear, is way better. And I was watching a couple of people stream this on Twitch, and I was like, yep, even though I've never played it, I want it just from watching what these guys are doing. So, yes, I was absolutely thrilled to get this. I was sitting there looking at it for the longest time going, do I get it for the Switch so I can play it on the go as well as at home, or do I get it for the PS4? I think I'd just rather have it for the PS4. Yeah, Mummy Remastered. You have no idea how thrilled I was to get that. So earlier this week, I went to my local Target to do some grocery shopping, as one does, and decided to hit up the electronics section. Looked at the games. They had some stuff on sale, but it wasn't anything I'd want to buy. It was mostly sports games and stuff. Finally saw some PS5 games, like in stock. I actually saw what they looked like. I was like, oh, okay. Looked at the movies. There was nothing worth buying. But they had some of these on sale, and I had a $10 off coupon that I got in the mail from Target. So I picked up a Pro controller for my Switch. I've been using the Joy-Cons that came with my console, and like everyone else has been complaining about lately, they are starting to drift a little bit, especially on the left thumbstick. So I had bought Daemon X Machina add-ons, or the Joy-Cons that you can use that are like bulkier for bigger hands, and they have like a real D-pad on it. Those work fine, but you can't use it while you're playing at home, and you can only use those when you're playing it in to-go mode, the travel mode, which kind of sucks. So I can't use it when I'm at home. So I was like, I really need one of these so I can play at home, so I don't have to use those stupid little Joy-Con things, because just when you put them on that little controller holder thing, that thing is so small, it just hurts my wrists. So to have a full-size controller, can't wait. What's up, Christopher? Yeah, I know. USPS is kind of getting gutted. Whatever. All I know is I ordered stuff from Amazon yesterday, Friday, and this stuff that I ordered from them showed up today. Yeah, one of them. Yeah, one of the movies did. What was the movie that I ordered from them? Oh, Freaks and Geeks I ordered through Amazon, and I ordered this on Friday, and it showed up yesterday, and that is the Baldur's Gate set for the Switch. When it comes to like all those PC Dungeons and Dragons-y type games that were released for the Switch, and I think the PS4 also. What was it, like Neverwinter Nights and Icewind Dale, and can't remember what the other ones were. But this was the only one that I did not have. I bought them all for the Switch because those are some of the things I'd like to play on the go, like a good old dungeon crawl or something like that. This is the only one I didn't have. So fantastic, and it was discounted already. One of the reasons I hadn't bought this yet was because I have the two Baldur's Gate games for the OG Xbox. So I wasn't going to pay full price for something that I already had. So I was waiting for it to get discounted. They finally discounted it on Amazon, so I bought it. But these are some awesome old school dungeon crawlers. Can't wait to dive back into those with some remastered graphics. Picked this up at Best Buy while I was there earlier in the week. I bought this when I got the Power Rangers and the Ion Fury. I picked up Sayonara Wild Hearts for the Switch, which is a rhythm game where you're on a motorcycle. But it's by Annapurna, which I think is becoming one of my favorite indie developers. I played Donut County, which was by them, and Edith Finch, who killed it? Was it who killed Edith Finch, or what happened to Edith Finch or something? Excuse me. And I have a couple other games by them I haven't played yet, but I really am starting to like them more and more as a developer, especially after Donut County, which I absolutely love. So when I saw that this was sitting there, I was just like, yeah, that's something that I totally forgot existed. I think I need it, and I just opened it. You got an unboxing on this channel, man. Can't wait to try it out. I'm probably going to bring this to work when we in a couple weeks when we start slowing down. Dump that shit. And the last game that I have to talk about is one of the limited run games that actually, this wasn't released by Limited Run. They released it, but it's not one of their releases. They're doing it for somebody else. This is from Special Reserve, but Limited Run put it up for sale on their website just in case you missed it. So I picked up a copy of Carrion, which I do believe is a Metroidvania, or is it a beat 'em up or a first-person shooter? I don't remember because there's absolutely nothing on the back to tell me what game this is. I've bought so many games from Limited Run, I forget which one is which half the time, especially if it's not something that I was like super excited about, like when it comes to Mummy Returns. So I cannot remember for the life of me. Does anybody remember what the hell Carrion is? I can't remember at all. God damn it. I ordered this so long ago that I have totally forgotten what it was. I think it's either a first-person shooter or a Metroidvania. Or whatever. Or I could open it right now and we can find out together. How about that? We got an unboxing here too for this. Yay! Let's see, because this comes with the manual. Ooh, and it's a thick boy too. It is a Metroidvania. Yes, yes, yes. The instruction book is not an instruction book. The instruction book is pictures. It's just pictures of the levels. Strange. Whatever. But, yeah, I love me a good Metroidvania. So, another one to play while we're shut down at work. Can't wait. Yes, yes. And that's it for the games. So, shall we play some Vectrex? If I broke all my PSPs for it, might as well do it. Live unboxing, yay! So, I have not booted this thing up in probably a year. Look, there's a plug right there. Come on, open up. Here's my controller. And let's get that game. Okay, so first things first, I need to get the cartridge out. And the overlay, which I had trouble getting out the first time. I got to do it again. I should have just left it out because I'm a dummy. Okay, so like when it comes to the Vectrex, the overlay goes over the screen and clips on. Come on. You son of a... Quit being a butthead. There we go. Looks like that. So you get your pertinent information. Possessions. Fire left cursor. Fire straight. Key select. And fire right test. So it tells you what each button on the controller does, because there's 4 buttons on the controller. So it's telling me what each button does. How'd you get dusty already? Duh. So if you've never seen what a Vectrex cartridge looks like, they are tiny. They're smaller than an Atari 2600 controller. Or cartridge. I can't talk. And then that snaps right to the side. And then you boot it up. Yeah, this was not made in 1983. Sorry. Select version. Oh, maybe this is an arcade game? Original or enhanced? Map is button 1. Res my troops. Skill level 1. Yeah, we'll do skill level 1 because I'm a noob. Let's start. Okay, my first warrior. Oh, look at that shit. That is freaking awesome. Player inventory. Look at that. That is the shit. Okay. Oh! I can hear that. Yeah, it whines a little bit. Got your ass! I got my ass. Damn it! Gotcha. Got me. Wow, that's hard to avoid. Okay, so I'm assuming this box here is actually teleporting me into this tunnel where I gotta fight these guys. Ah, see, he's like... He's kind of like tracking where I'm going, which is kind of unsettling. See, he's like following where I'm gonna go. Did I ever mention that I'm not very good at video games? Gotcha. Ooh, you're doing good. What? Are we in Bizarro Land? Damn it. Game over. That's actually kind of cool. I like it. It's like I said, it's a new Vectrex game. That's awesome. So it says here, it's a world filled with adventure, danger, and magic. You control a knight, and your task is to search a mysterious forest for the magical keys that will unlock the entrance to the Dark Tower. Guide your warrior in search of enchanted chests scattered throughout the forest. Each chest will contain a new puzzle, adventure, terror, or treasure. Tread carefully as the Dark Tower is hidden deep within the forest. So, yeah, this is teleporting me into a fight area. That's pretty cool. I like it. So, yeah. Turn that off. Yeah, that's pretty loud. I think I need to get it repaired. Well, this thing is from like 1981 or 2, so you can't blame it for not being perfect at this point in time. So, yeah, that's awesome. I'm just glad I didn't need to get it modded or anything to play any of these homebrews. But, like I said, I love my Vectrex a lot. I was super thrilled when I got it. I got it on Craigslist, super cheap. Oh, and I just scratched up my desk. That's awesome. Yeah, I got it on Craigslist, like dirt cheap. Some guy was selling it. I guess it was his dad's or something, and it had been sitting up in an attic for years and years and years, and then he found it, and he just wanted to get rid of it, but he didn't know what he had, and he was selling all these box games to go along with it. They were like worth hundreds of dollars, and I got them for basically a couple bucks each. Probably $5 at the most each, which is awesome. So, yeah, I should play it more, but I don't. It's been sitting here like gathering dust for like a year. You don't know what I'm getting? I want to be able to rent them first. Yeah, that'd be nice too. I'm sure I could buy. I know that there is a ROM cart, one of those. What do they call them? Flash cart that you can use for this, and you can download the ROMs and play them on here. So I could probably do that, but I just don't want to spend the money on the ROM cart. I'd rather just get it. Picture starts going. Yeah, the picture's working fine. In arcades here too. Yeah, these things. I know somebody on Facebook that fixes them. I could probably ask them, but it would probably cost me a pretty penny. But whatever. So that's it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for coming. It's been a blast. Got to play some video games too, which is neat. Glad that everyone showed up to hear me talking about all this crap that I don't need, but I want. So I will be back at the end of March. Still trying to finish that giant collab video. I'm working on it. I actually sent one of the guests like a picture of her completed section, so I could say like, I know you gave me your contribution to the collaboration video like months ago. It's happening. It's just happening slowly. Yeah, I got some cool shit, especially when it comes to the movies. Like I said, I should have had a hell of a lot more to talk about, but like I said, the mail is getting screwed up now, so I can't help it. So, yeah, keep an eye out. I'm going to try to release that collab video in March if I can, but like working on it is like time to work on it is not easy right now. Like it's not coming to me very easily. So we'll see, but I'm going to try. I'm still trying. I'm probably going to work on it when I'm done with this tonight. So I will talk to you all later. Hopefully I'll see you all next month. Chris, the old ass retro gamer, out. Have a great night, everybody, and stay safe.